The first time I experienced lower back pain, it was actually at the time when my first child was born, right around that time, so good 40 some years ago. I sneezed so hard that I threw my back out, fell on the floor. I was locked in a bathroom and I could not maneuver to get out. It took me probably a good half an hour to be able to move without this excruciating pain, to be able to reach the doorknob and unlock it and let myself out, get free of the bathroom. And I went through chiropractic, I did yoga, I did everything I could to try to straighten out my back, short of taking harsh medicine or even contemplating surgery. And about 10 years ago, I had joined a gym, and I joined and then I didn't show up for about 2 months. And when I got back to the gym, the trainer who signed me up said, "Where have you been?" I said, "Well, I threw my back out. I couldn't exercise." He said, "Have you ever read a book by Dr. John Sarno?" Named the title. It turns out that Dr. John Sarno had written 10 books about pain in the body, and he was the chief pain management chair at New York-Presbyterian Hospital for 40 years. And every time a patient presented with pain, whether it was shoulder, knee, back, foot, ankle, hip, it didn't really matter. He interviewed them, he assessed and made sure there was nothing totally physically out of whack to the point that it was an emergency. And he sent them to therapy. And he asked them to just retrace a few steps into their childhood and figure out if there's any sort of pain that the body is holding on to subconsciously that we're not even remembering in our conscious minds, that may be the seat of that pain. His theory was that the mind is so powerful. I don't know if I've ever said this before, but the mind is the most powerful organ in the body, and it controls so much, like we can't even begin to describe how much is controlled by the mind. And it's not all just the conscious mind. The autonomic nervous system, the subconscious mind, controls the beating of the heart, the breathing, all those things. All right, rolling. So what the subconscious mind will do when there's a really incessant trauma in your life that you're holding on to, it may not be in a conscious memory, it could be hiding out inside the body. The body has memory. Every cell in the body has the ability to remember. I have a scar on my knee that was a self-inflicted accident with a chainsaw, and I was rushed to the hospital, 50 stitches, all that. That scar is still there. It remembers the injury, and it keeps renewing and regenerating the cells to let me know and remind me that there was an injury there. So it remembers the injury. So I read that book and I thought, my dad wasn't really the best role model. He had alcoholism. He was sort of out of control a lot of the times. And, I thought I had made right with him during my teenage years, and that all was sort of, swept under the rug, more or less. And I realized that, there probably is still something there. So it took me all of 5 minutes to think back, go through that. My father's long gone. And I just had a one-way conversation with him. Wherever his spirit is, that's, we'll leave the mystics and the religious people to understand all that. But I made right with him, and I forgave him for the things that happened to me as a child. And I asked him to forgive me for whatever I had done wrong. And to this day, in the last 10 years, I've not had lower back pain. It's never come back. Through the action of taking time to just do a little self-assessment, a little checking in. If you don't do that, here's what can happen. This year it's the back, you get surgery. The next year it's the knee, you get surgery. The next year it's your neck. Surgeons see this constantly. People keep coming back. That pain keeps traveling around the body until it's emotionally released. just something to think about. I wish you a life full of purpose. I want you to be as healthy and as happy as you can be, and we'll talk again soon. If you found the content useful, please like the video, subscribe, and click the little bell for notifications. Please use the comments section below to ask any questions or leave any comments. We're happy to help